I need a way to move the keyboard without taking my hands off of the trackball. I can't move the camera left or right because I broke it. Well, at least I can't move it with the in the same way that I used to. But the trackball is over here, and it's an 8-button Elecom Huge Trackball. So if we go down here, well, actually, we want to be inside of our knowledge vault, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to set this up too. So right now I have this keyboard combination I can use to switch between all the different screens I'm looking at and change screens. And I have different keyboard shortcuts for a lot of different things. But one of the things that I wanted to be able to do was, what was it? So I think it was from the browser. So if we go back here, I was using Wikipedia to look up the word archons because I heard it in this video that I was watching up here. And this right here on the, hold on, let me go here. This right here, this guy right here is Billy Carson. And I don't know exactly what his name is. This other, hold on, trying to zoom out here. All right. What his name is, let's see if it says it. It doesn't say that. B-Dell and Billy Carson. So this guy right here is B-Dell. And I've seen him on other podcasts, and in these podcasts, they're talking about the occult, conspiracy theories, and then a bunch of other stuff, mathematics, physics. It just depends on what part of all of reality that they're talking about. So anyway, he said this word archons, which I've moved over to this screen there, which you can see over on the right side of me, right? You can see my hand here, right? So that's the screen that I'm looking at right there. And we came here because I wanted to change the way that I can move the camera. So right now I can move the camera up and down by moving my hand to the keyboard, but I want to move the camera up and down by using the keyboard commands and the Elecom Huge Trackball that you see over here, that you can't see because it's kind of hidden behind the microphone, but this is it right here. And so what I'm going to do is there's a program called, and I'll show you what the Elecom Huge Trackball is. For instance, if we go out to, I'm just going to go over to this screen here and then make another tab, and we'll just type Elecom Huge, and let's see, right? So this right here is roughly, well, this right here is what the actual trackball looks like. Not mine's. Mine's has a red ball and a silver wheel, but if we go here, so these are on eBay, maybe they're older versions. If we scroll down, most likely we'll be able to find the website at some point. And I think I spelled Elecom wrong. Yeah, well, no, that's it, Elecom Huge, but we got plus in there. So if we go Elecom Huge Trackball, go here to the web page, this is what that actual trackball looks like that I'm using. And there's buttons everywhere. There's a button here, there's a button there. This acts as a button. You can push it in or you can move it up and down. So it's like it has 3 functions, and it functions as a wheel. This is a button. This is a button right here. That's a button right there, I think. No, that's not a button. This is where you can rest your finger so you don't hit this button, but that's a button. Then you have another button here, and you have another button right there. And I think that's all of them. And there's a switch where you can change the sort of the speed that the trackball moves at, but I never mess with that because I don't think it does anything. Well, yeah, it does. All the way forward, it makes the trackball move rather slow, and then if you push it all the way down, it makes it move really fast. So it makes it easy when I need to switch between all these different screens that I have going on here. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the software. And the software is called Mouse Assistant, MOUSC, Mouse Assistant 5, which you can see down there. So if I hit that and enter, it's going to open up Mouse Assistant 5. And now I can use, well, actually, I don't even need Mouse Assistant, I don't think. Let's try something real quick. So we're going to go to the hotkeys for the actual video software we're using, which is this right here, OBS Bot Cam. This is the software that has to be running for me to do things like move the camera up and down. So we're going to go in here to the settings menu right there. And then, well, no, the settings isn't where we want to be. Well, actually, is it? General settings, global hotkeys All right, so we're looking for global hotkeys, which is located. I have to bring this screen back here so I can see it. There we go. So global hotkeys is here. And let me make sure I'm on the right screen. There we go. And so go in here, go to global hotkeys, which I'm messing myself up because I have the OBS screen sort of in my way. So I'm going to move this over to one of our other monitors. There we go. And now I'm going to say, I'm just messing around here. Not messing around, but I have to resize the window so I can see it. Now you can't see the OBS screen, the Open Broadcaster screen, because it's hidden in the software. But if you look at my desktop here, you can see, like if I move it here, you can see it on my main screen. I'm moving it around, but if I switch to that actual display, you can't see it there because it's hidden. All right, so I'm going to move this back over to the left side of my setup here. And then so down here we've got our hotkeys, and let's see, I have a hotkey set. If we go to global hotkeys, I have a hotkey set to move the camera up and down. And so right here it says gimbal move up and gimbal move down. So there, I believe, I don't know, I'm gonna try, maybe I can add another hotkey or change this hotkey so it goes, if we click here, so now we've got mouse forward, that's down, and then we go, okay, so that's there, and then we'll click here and we'll go like this. So now what's gonna happen is whenever I wanna move the camera, if I hit all of these hotkeys, and I'm gonna move my OBS screen back to here so I can see everything that's going on. So if I wanna move the camera up or down, I can just hit Control Alt Shift, and then see, it didn't work because I don't think I saved them. So we're gonna go back here to this screen there and go back into settings. And now I can't see that other screen because it's behind Open Broadcaster. So I'm gonna move it here. So now we can see this one. And so gimbal move up, see, I didn't save my changes. Gimbal move up, and then we got gimbal move down. And now we go apply, and then we can go there. And now, let's see if it works. If I go back here so you can see this screen, I can use a keyboard shortcut in the forward, in this, what essentially are the forward and back buttons on my Elecom Huge Trackball, which is over here on this screen, to move the camera up and down without taking my hands off the trackball. And I'm using that in conjunction with all of the other keyboard commands and shortcuts that I have programmed here to switch between the different screens, to change the views, to switch between different applications down here. So for instance, I could grab that there, and you can see I have Billy Carson and BitBo here on the top monitor, but I can, down here, I can switch to that browser window, and then I can, using keyboard shortcuts, I can move that window to any of the different monitors that I'm using, and then I can move it into different sections of that monitor based on a predetermined setup that I have here inside of what's called Microsoft Power Toys, right? So I can pick any one of these screen layouts for any one of my displays here, this one being the main one that's right in front of me, this one being the one that's above that one, and then we have our left display and our right display. But I'm not exactly sure which is which, so I may be pointing at the wrong one. But I think maybe you sort of get the idea. But I can change the layout, so I can select, for instance, this grid. Oh, I messed up. Let's see if we can get back in there. And let me make sure I'm on the right screen. Yep, so if we go there and we switch over to, I'm gonna just move this up here. We switch to monitor 2 or monitor 1, which is the one on top, and we change our layout. Well, we'll switch to the bottom one, and we change our layout to, say, for instance, this 6 grid layout. Now, if we go back down to this main monitor and I select this window with Billy Carson and BitBo on it, and using the Windows left and right arrow keys, I can move this to any one of those 6 locations. So I can grab all the screens that I'm working with, and I could potentially move those to different displays and then place them on the display, depending on how the particular piece of software was written. For instance, this software here, it doesn't conform to the grid structure because it doesn't use the Windows mechanism for laying out windows on the desktop. So while I can move this window from monitor to monitor using Windows Shift left and right, I can't move it within the screen using just the regular Windows key, because it doesn't conform to that same, it's not using the application programming interface that all the other applications are using. For instance, here I have Microsoft Edge. So if I switch over to this screen, you can see like I can move this window up and down between these different locations. I can make it full screen. I can make it small again. But the other applications, they don't conform like this because they don't use the same mechanism as that Windows offers for moving windows and things around the screen. So now I've got the setup so I can actually move my camera up and down. And there's many more things I could do. For instance, I have a zoom in and zoom out. So I could potentially set these top buttons to do the same thing on my Elecom Huge Trackball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and you can see how these buttons are programmed in here. We can program each of these buttons to do their own thing, but in other applications, we can set hotkeys to do things. So I'm going to see if I can set the zoom in and zoom out. So we did up. So here we got zoom in. So let's see if we can go. See, it won't maintain the key that we're pressing for whatever reason. I don't know why. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go back to page up. So page up zooms in, page down zooms out. Control Alt Shift. So I can zoom in and zoom out just by moving my hand on the keyboard. Now, if I move the keyboard closer to the trackball, then I can move my hand faster. Over here, it's a little further away. But the point is whatever setup you're using to make it as comfortable as possible and as fun to use as you find enjoyable. So that way you can enjoy what it is that you're doing. I bring this up because there's a lot of people out there who sit at desks doing jobs. Maybe you aren't really excited about the job. Maybe you aren't excited about the software, but imagine if you could do everything on your computer just a little bit faster. We're in the world of AI where everybody's telling you to use AI and train agents and do all this stuff. All those people are just trying to sell you something. Please do not reach the state where you don't know how to do anything because you've been relying on the computer to do all of the work for you, because there may come a time when you don't have that capability available to you, or something goes wrong with it and we have to take a step backwards. Now, I'm not saying that, this is going to happen or some sort of sci-fi scenario like the robots are taking over and we got to crush everything and get rid of stuff. Look, right? The idea is that you are a creative being. Right? You come from the earth, you're created from the earth, and then not you in particular, but humans created all this other stuff. And that means we can continue to create. Maybe a little different from machines. In that respect, I hope you enjoyed everything that I said here. If you got any questions about anything, leave those in the comments below. I can't promise you that I'll answer any questions, but if you paid close enough attention, you might have learned some things here. And if not, I apologize for using your time. Till next time, team. See you in the next broadcast. Peace.